Hi everyone. In this session we will discuss about functional approximation with back propagation. So before that we will see what is functional approximation. Functional approximation is nothing but it is a technique for predicting or calculating an unknown function using some available values. So what is functional approximation? It is nothing but it is a method of calculating or predicting an unknown function using some available values. Okay, so here the author says that this functional approximation process is used by the neural network to compute error derivative of the weights. In other words, we can say that so it calculates, this method calculates how the error changes with respect to the weight. If the weight is increased, what about the change in error? If the weight is decreased or reduced, what about the change in the error? Okay, so that's what the author says. See, these 2 points are explained with a figure. So we are very much familiar with this figure because we have been discussing this figure right from our back propagation unit onwards, right? So here, so what the author says is, so I1, I2 are the input units, H1, H2 are the hidden units, whereas O1, O2 are the output units. So here we have different weights like W1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All these weights are taken, we are taking some random values, Okay, the synaptic weights. So these synaptic weights are taken with some random values. So by taking some random values, what we are doing is we are calculating the output, actual output O1, actual output O2. That actual output or calculated output is compared with the desired output O1 or target output O1 and desired output O2 and target output O2. So first we will calculate the difference between the actual output O1, okay, and the target output O1. So we will get some difference. That difference is treated as the error. Okay, so in order to reduce that error, what we will do is we will go back and we will change we will update the weights. So what the author is telling is, see the first on the second point. So what is the change in error? Okay, when you have increased the weight and when you have decreased the weight, what is the change in error? That's what the author is telling. So when you update the weight, when you increase the weight, what is the change in error? When you reduce the weight, what is the change in the error? That's what the author is telling. And next, the back propagation algorithm is most widely used for determining error derivative of the weights, EW. Okay, and the back propagation algorithm is developed basically or mainly to train the multi-layered perceptron. So you know what is multi-layered perceptron and what is single-layered perceptron. Okay, in multi-layered perceptron neural network we will have hidden units, whereas in single-layered neural network we don't have hidden units. Okay, suppose if you consider this, okay, so if you consider this figure, okay, okay, first we have two classes, XX belongs to same class, OO or 00, these belongs to one class. So here we have two varieties of classes. Okay, suppose if you are able to separate these two classes with a straight line, then we say that the given pattern is linearly separable. In order to work on linearly separable patterns, single-layered perceptron is enough. Okay, but we can't draw a straight line to separate these two classes. Means the given pattern are non-linearly separable. So in order to work on non-linearly separable patterns, definitely we need multi-layered perceptron neural network or multi-layered neural network. Okay, using the multi-layered neural network, we will define them like this. Okay, so we can separate them like this. We can differentiate them like this. Okay. Okay, and the basic question which arises in multi-layered neural network is, in multi-layered neural network or multi-layered perceptron is, see, we have included definitely in a multi-layered neural network we should have hidden units. How many hidden layers should be there? See here, input unit, one input layer, and we have two input neurons or two input units. See, we have H1 is one hidden layer, H2 is another hidden layer. In hidden layer H1, we have two neurons. It was indicated with 1 and 2. In hidden layer H2 is the second hidden layer, and there also it consists of two neurons. So here the basic question is, when you are working on a multi-layered neural network or multi-layered perceptron, so how many number of, definitely we should have hidden layer. Okay, if you use hidden layer, then only it comes under multi-layered perceptron or multi-layered neural network. So how many hidden layers should be there? And if you have identified the hidden layers, and in each layer how many number of neurons should be there? These two are the basic questions which arises. So here we have some guidelines. So the following are some guidelines to know the number of hidden layers and the number of neurons in each hidden layer. Okay, so the first question, based upon the available data, we have to draw the expected decision boundaries to separate the classes. Okay, so see here, if you see this example, let us take, okay, if you see this example, no, so let us take, so in order to separate these, we are drawing a line. Okay, we have drawn a line. Okay, next what it is saying, the previous step. So what it is saying is, see, so represent the decision boundary as set of lines, right? We have represented as set of lines. Next, the number of lines represents the number of neurons in the first hidden layer. So we are now we have identified that yes, definitely there should be hidden layers. Why? Because we are working on non-linearly separable patterns. So there should be a hidden layer. Okay, the question is how many hidden layers we should have, and each hidden layer consists of how many neurons. See, the third point, the number of lines represents the number of neurons in the first hidden layer. So we have drawn two lines. So means the first hidden layer should have two neurons. Next, the fourth point, to connect the lines represented in the previous step, we have to add a new hidden layer. Okay, so in order to connect these, so what the author is telling is we have to, so in order to add these, right, we have added. Okay, in order to add this, we have to add a new hidden layer. Okay, that's what so to connect the lines represented in the previous step, we have to add a new hidden layer. So now we have added a new hidden layer. See, we have added a new hidden layer. Let us suppose this is the new hidden layer, and the number of neurons in each new hidden layer equals the number of connections to be made. So here also we should have two hidden neurons. As we have two neurons, we should have, as we have two neurons in the first hidden layer, so in order to make the connections, we are including two hidden neurons in the second or new hidden layer also, right? Hope you have understood, right? So this is all about function approximation with back propagation. Okay, hope you have understood. Thank you.